Very good morning to you all children. Today we are going to see the continuation of our lesson 7 system configuration and troubleshooting. In our previous video we have learnt about the various configurations, desktop, home page, and we have also learnt how to add an application to the startup menu and launcher toolbar. In this video we are going to learn how to install an application in a computer or laptop, okay, and how to distinguish the difference between the user and administrator privileges, and also to set permissions to share files and folders. Shall we start, children? First we are going to see how to install an application. Okay, to install an application we follow certain steps. The first step is you have to download the correct OS. Okay, the particular OS which you are downloading from the internet, it should be the latest version. Say for example, if you are downloading any educational software like TuxMath, okay, you should download the latest version of that particular software. Then always while downloading you should follow the aware rules. So this is your first step. Okay, in that first what you are doing, you are downloading the latest version of that particular software, keeping in mind that you should follow always the aware rules. The second step is you have to authenticate whether the site is reliable or not. The repository here, it refers to the software repository where the software you are downloading. No, for that software the data files are stored in that software repository. So you have to always check whether the site from which you are downloading the software is reliable or not before downloading. Okay children, so this is the second step. And the next step is always whenever you are using internet, okay, in your computer or in your laptop, you should always have the antivirus software in your system. Okay, you should install an antivirus software in your system. Okay, after downloading the software from the internet, you have to scan the file. Okay, before installing it you have to scan the downloaded package. Okay, so what are you doing? The third step, you should install an antivirus software in your system. Okay, after downloading the software from the internet you have to scan that particular package, okay, using the antivirus software. Okay, this is your third step. And in your fourth step you have to provide the path for the downloaded file. So where you are going to save that particular software. So usually all the software we will save in the C colon. So you have to find the correct path. Okay, you have to give the correct path for the file which we have downloaded. Then we have to start installing the application. So wizard is the process which helps us to, okay, install the application very easily. Okay, wizard is nothing but, okay, when we click install, the different dialog boxes come. We have to click next, then finish. So everything, the process of installing, okay, can be done very easily with the help of the wizard. So it is the user interface with the sequence of the well-defined steps which allows us to install the software very easily. Okay, where all the unfamiliar tasks also we can complete it very easily with this wizard process. So it guides us the way to install that particular application in a system. So these are the steps, okay, which is followed, okay, to install an application. So at first what are we doing? At first we are downloading the application keeping in mind the aware rules. Second, we have to check the site is reliable or not, and then third we have to scan the downloaded package using the antivirus software. Fourth, we have to install, okay, we have to provide the path for the downloaded file, and then you have to install it, okay, using the wizard process. And once you have installed, you have always update about the OS. Okay, you have to always update your OS to the latest version. Okay children, so these are the steps which is involved for downloading an application. Next we are going to see about the privilege. So privilege is nothing but it is the permission to perform an action in the computer. So you are just giving permission, okay, you can do this. With the privilege you can do this option, you can change this. So we are giving an permission to perform an action. So it is privilege is categorized into two types. One is the user privilege and another one is the administrator privilege. So what are the privileges we can do? We can create or we can read and we can delete a file, okay, in a computer. We can also allow the computer to access the devices like printer and scanner. We can also configure the system settings. If you are the system administrator, okay, then you can configure your network settings, system settings, everything you can configure. So all these permissions can be set by the system administrator. Okay, first we are going to see in detail about the user privileges. The user always need to have a login ID and a password to access the computer. So user here means usually we will tell no guest. Okay, you can log in to the computer as a guest login. Okay, you have to have a login ID and a password for it. You can add any numbers of user. The system administrator only can add the user to the computer. So what are the basic settings that the user can perform? Okay, that the guest can perform is you can change the resolution of the monitor. Resolution means it is width into height. You can change that. You can change the printer settings. Okay, you can change the mode into either landscape or portrait. You can change the paper size. You can change the settings in using the printer settings, and also you can change the screensaver and the appearance of the desktop. All these four changes can be made by the user. Then user can also view the current network setting. So what network the system is connected. The user can view that, and user can also view the software which is installed in the system and the software which is available for the installation also. So these are the things the user can do in the system. If you log in as a user, only these things you can change in the system. The user cannot change, okay, the configuration of the network. Okay, you cannot change the network settings if you log in as a user. You cannot add any additional users also. You cannot change the OS settings. Okay, the system configurations you cannot change, and you cannot install any software into the computer. So what are the things if you log in as a user you cannot do is, first you cannot change the network settings. Second, you cannot add any additional users. Okay. Third, you cannot change the OS settings, that means the operating system settings, and you cannot install any new software in the computer. So these are the user privileges. Okay. Then we are going to see about the system administrator privileges. System administrator system administrator usually have the control over the system. He or she can do anything in the system. Okay, he or she can configure the system. He or she can install any software in the system, can configure the network settings also. It can add any users. All the troubleshooting can be done by the system administrator only. So system administrator have the control over the system. Okay, children. Next we are going to see about the permissions. So permissions are nothing but, okay, we are giving some permissions or that the actions can be performed by the file used by the users. Okay, if you are giving and say for example we are creating a PDF. Okay, we are creating a PDF and we are sending to your friends. Okay, your friend can only read that PDF and he cannot edit or modify the content in the PDF. How we do that? The permissions would be set for that particular file, whether the reader can read only or he can read and modify. So that particular actions which is performed on that file is known as the permission here. Okay, we can see that in detail. So the first permission we can give is read only, whether the user can view only the content, okay, and he or she cannot modify the content. Second, it is read and write. The user can read as well as he or she can modify the content. Okay, read only means the PDF, okay, which you are sending to your friend, only he can view that what is given in that PDF. He cannot edit that PDF. Okay, read and write means your friend can read as well as he can modify the content in that particular PDF. So other options, okay, which you can give as permission is you can allow that file to run as a program. Okay, you can open the file with a specific application. Say for example the same PDF. Okay, you can specify whether which application the PDF want to open. Only with the Adobe Reader the PDF can open. Okay, you can set that particular application also in your file. So these are the various permissions that the user can set, okay, for a particular file or a directory. In Windows, okay, to set the permission for a particular file, first what you have to do, you have to right click on that particular file. You have to right click on that particular file. Then you have to choose the option properties. Okay, then you have to choose the option properties, and then in security, okay, you can see here full control. Okay, you can allow the user to have the full control over the particular file, or you can modify, okay, read and execute. Okay, you can run as a program, okay, or only he can read it. He can also edit that, okay, he can also write in it, okay, and other special permissions. So you can either click allow or you can click deny. Okay, you can either allow or you can deny that particular permission, and then you can click OK. Okay, then the particular file is sent to your friend with the settings which you have made. Okay children, so this is how you can set permission on a file using the Windows. Okay children, so now whatever we have seen is, at first we have seen how to install an application. Okay, 4 steps is followed to install an application. At first you have to download the latest version of that application, and then secondary you have to check for the reliable site, okay, from which you are downloading, and third you have to scan the downloaded file using the antivirus, and fourth you have to provide the path for the downloaded file, which means that where you are going to save that particular software, and then finally you to use the wizard process to install that application in your computer system. Second, we have seen about the user privileges and system administrator privileges. So if you log in as a user, you can change only the appearance of the desktop, okay, appearance of the desktop, and then you can change the printer settings as well as the resolution of the monitor. Then we have seen as the system administrator, he or she can have the full control over the system. He or she can troubleshoot, he'll change the network settings, change the desktop settings, change the OS settings, so everything the system administrator can have the control. Then we have seen how to set up permissions for particular file, whether it is read only or read and write. So all the permissions you can set. Okay, so these things we have seen. Now we are going to do an activity. So I want you all to answer all these questions. Okay, all these 5 questions. Okay, watch the video carefully and answer all these questions and send it to me. Okay children, thank you.